Now, whoever the woman was caught in the act of adultery, they're asking Jesus if they should do according to Moses' law and stone her, right? Or you're not reading the story right? Now, the problem is they're not to stone her alone, right? They're trying to break the law themselves, right? One, you're supposed to bring both parties involved with the adultery, the male and the female, right? By the way, that's the first thing they're breaking themselves, right? One, that creates a loophole for the woman anyway, no matter whose wife she is, right. You're supposed to stone them both together, right? By the way, right? It's said twice, including in the possible rape if she don't cry out, right? Now, if she cries out during the rape, the man can be stoned alone, by the way. So there can be capital punishment for rape, idiots. Only problem is the laws in America are so lax concerning rape. You can practically get away with it. And you have been, and probably, right? I know. Right. Rape is a different crime, too, and statutory rape means the child can say yes or no still, right? By the way. But you're saying she's too young to consent, but then she's also too young to do that job. There you go again, right? Back to square one, right? You cannot allow a 15-year-old permission to do that job unless you already got permission for her to do that job. Now, right? You get that at the Georgia Department of Labor on White Bluff Road. In 2019, it was open. During the pandemic, it closed. Yeah. But not in 2019. Not in 2019. That's your problem too, but why did anyone come to 3 years later? Or even get the paperwork if it's post-dated and like sign it like it was always in force, but that's a problem, right? Now, if it is a minor, you cannot solicit a minor for sex. That means you can't even ask for sex with a minor. Now, the problem is, though, if a woman says she's 37, guess what? You can ask her for sex, right? Well, there's a difference, right, between the ages there, right? I'm saying she said she was 37 in the first place. You're saying you knew she was 15 the whole time, right? So, what if you did? I didn't know she was 15. She told me a different age, and I'm swearing to that in a court of law. I'll go to court and say that, right? Now, your problem is this. Yes, I hear voices in my head. But I don't claim to not hear what other people are saying to me verbally. That's a different thing. I heard a voice in my head say, Jerusalem, 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 and I was alone, idiot. I know what a person is saying when I'm right in front of them. I don't have a problem doing that. Never said I did. Never said you did. When I heard the voices, I was alone on watch. I told you that the first time. Nobody was around me, and I heard the voice in my head say, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, 3 times, right? And guess where we were at? In the Mediterranean Sea, right? On our way, in a way. As it turned out, that trip to Israel. But here's the kicker. We were there for 2 weeks. That's weird. That is weird. Almost like either something happened to the ship, right? Itself, which is odd. Usually when you report, it's no more than a week, if that. At least 3 to 4 days, maybe a week, right? But then you're back out to sea again, because port is where you get stock, you get stuff for the ship, or whatever you need, right? Now, if you're there for 2 weeks, something major could be going on I don't know. I don't know the real reasons. Right, right. But usually the most you're in port is anywhere from 2 to 3 days to a week. I know. Never 2 weeks. Never 2 weeks. We were in Israel for almost 2 weeks for some reason, right? Which is really an scheduled stop, all right? Mm-hmm. Hell, I was wondering if the damn crankshaft or something of the ship had broken or something myself or so. Now, the thing is, though, I know, when I converse with you, I never said I am hearing voices where I'm miscommunicating with people. I know. Nope. No, not once. Not once. Now, what did I tell you, though, I did when I came in? Is her first name Michelle? At least that part, I know that's what she said. I know that's what she said. Now, here's what she also told me. She was from New Jersey. Did she say the truth about that, or did she lie? Right. Now, New Jersey, right, out of all the states of America, is a weird state to say she's from if she's not from there, unless she lied to me about that, too. I don't know. I don't know if she did or didn't. But usually when I'm right in front of you, I hear what you say, right? Now, the second thing I asked her is, did she complete school or university? And she said, yeah, yeah. All right. So far, right, I'm establishing she's either from New Jersey, now in Georgia, right, right. And I don't know no details about her, right. And the fourth thing I asked her had to do with her age, right, or it was one of the first three things I've asked her. I'm not sure of the exact order or detail, but she said, again, 37, not 15, right? Those two words are not interchangeable to where even if I was having problems hearing people in a conversation with me, which I'm not saying that was the issue ever, I was alone and hearing voices by myself, right, on watch. In Sicily, off the coast of Italy, and we went to two more ports after that. A port in Greece and then a port in where? Israel. Huh. Weird, huh? Weird, huh? Now, I met Sheena in Palma del Mar, Larco, where is it? It was just a port on that island called Mallorca, I think. Something like that. And that's one of the ports we went to the previous trip as well. Mm-hmm. And that's where I met Miss Johnson, right? And me and Miss Johnson, we had a little fling, and I thought she was the one, and I told her about being one of the two witnesses of the dream and getting her pregnant and all that, and that I would marry her like the Bible says I'm supposed to marry her, right? If I have premarital sex with a young, unbetrothed woman, I'm still to ask her hand in marriage. Now, it don't mean she can't refuse the marriage proposal, right? Which that's what I thought she was doing, right? I didn't understand why she was doing it, but okay. I eventually got with the program that I wanted to marry her and she didn't want to marry me. And I was like, I guess basically in a nutshell, huh? What else can it be, right? You wanted to marry her and she didn't want to marry you, basically. Now, do you just let someone go if you're on two different ships, Navy? Right. We're not working in the same job space. Oh, no. Like me and the shipmates where they were harassing me and not working with me or training me because they kept asking me if I was gay more than once. Right. Now, the difference is if it's your shipmates not training you, what is it called if you have to give sex for training? Quid pro quo, right? Well, my shipmates were quid pro quo me. They weren't training me, right? The only thing they would have had to tell me differently that I didn't know is I needed to use a book with the work card to do the job, right? Well, they didn't tell us something about that in A school, right? That when you got to the ship, there's a bunch of books you're supposed to use in conjunction with the work card, perhaps, right? I still don't know this, right? To do the job. Well, they didn't even tell me what the books were for on the shelves and that they were to be worked with the work cards as well, because I just thought you were supposed to use the work card because that's how they train me with it, right? And I still don't know if that's what the books were for or not, or how you recognize the piece of equipment you are supposed to work on with only the work card, because the work card only tells you how to do the job, not what the piece of equipment looks like you're even working on, right? That's why when I was in the trying to work on the logic circuits, which again, we're going over this again, King, EMFM King and EMFM Kimball, the two being directly involved with my training. And if the person you're working under is giving you 2.78 evals and they're not training you, what is that also called? Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo, right? He's taking my career because he's got the power to, right? He's not training me as well. I don't know what to do. I'm not a trained electrician before I joined the Navy. They're supposed to train me in the Navy to be a trained electrician, right? Right. Some of the equipment you might see on the ship, you might not also see in a house, but they're wired similarly, but you still have to show someone, like I said, even how to wire a house itself. I know. And like I said, with the ceiling fan I wired back in 2017, it's still fine, right? I can follow a basic diagram and even, hook up a fan in my home, right? With the knowledge I had as an electrician in the Navy along. But the difference is they do give you a schematic. Right, right. They show you which wire to hook up, how to put the fan up a certain way so it don't fall down on your ass either. The fan also hasn't fallen down on me or anything weird like that either. Since I'm hooked it up. Now, if it does start getting a little shaky, that means the wiring could be coming a little loose, right? If anything else like that happens. But it's been over 5 years since I hooked it up, and it's still in there working, I bet. So I could do basic electrical work still. But the problem was when they sent me to the space, I didn't even know what piece of equipment I was supposed to be working on, right? I never seen any of it before, dummy, right? Okay, and that's my fault. How, right? You can't send me to work on something I never seen before, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be working on, and I'm supposed to figure it out, right? That's probably what the books are for. On the shelf there, King. I also never seen them using the books themselves, by the way. So I didn't know what to do, right? I was never trained properly as an electrician, and even if I, was or wasn't, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be working on anyway, right? Because I don't know the type of equipment. I've never seen it before. I've never seen a logic circuit until after the job, right? When Lieutenant Gisborne got mad with them because they wouldn't actually train me, right? And he knew what they were doing was actually not training me. That's the problem too, right? And I'm trying to tell this to my doctors. I'm trying to tell this to everybody, right? But nobody really wants to listen, right? Someone's preoccupied with sex with children, it seems, right? Not because I'm around children, by the way. I'm not, right? I don't know any. And I know not to hang out around them that looks bad, right? Let not your good be evil spoken of. You ever heard of that? Right. That means as a 53-year-old man, even though there's a school nearby, right? I stay home all day. I don't go up and hang out watching the kids get out of school. Period. Period. Never have, never will either. Even if I'm going to, say, McDonald's to get breakfast or something, and say the kids are waiting for the school bus or I see them outside or something, I drive on by and go to McDonald's and then come back home and eat McDonald's or eat McDonald's at McDonald's, right? I don't, hang out with children, right? I don't approach children for sex. Right? But if a woman says she's 37, you can ask her for sex. You can't solicit a minor for sex at all, but she's not supposed to be doing that job until she's 16, right? And see, you can't say 3 years later you had the proof if you didn't have the proof the day of, right? Because the proof is at the Georgia Board of Labor, right? On, again, White Bluff Road, right? You don't get it after I leave the store. You already have it on the premises, right? In your office, sir. So that if someone asks the girl her age, right, and she tells them 37 or 15, if that was what you said her age was, which I'm a new customer, so I had no way to know her age, right, sir. And she's not supposed to be doing that job unless you're emancipating her either, right? See, this is a job that the Georgia Board of Labor considers a dangerous job for a child to do, right? There are several reasons. One of them has to do with bacteria and fungi she might get. The other is you can't isolate her while working the job. In other words, she can't, has to be allowed to leave the job site, right? And you're not going to want a 15-year-old even leave the job site. See, a real 15-year-old can run errands, right? For you, right? She can even walk down to another store and come back, right? But if you won't let her do that, you know she's 15 and ain't supposed to be working, right? You're working her illegally then, sir, right? And you're trying to cover your ass. And it don't matter if you got the proof after, a week after, a month after, right? You have to have it on the day of I went to the store, right? If you had it the day of, I wouldn't have lost the hour of time, whatever we're arguing about in the store, right? We're arguing about something, right? She has to have the proof on her then, right? Now, if it went to sex, she established not that she was 15, but 37 with me. If I ask her if, as part of that, if she's married or not, and she says no, she's not married, right? She's not married, right? She can be with me, right? But now a 15-year-old can't be with no one, nor can she seduce a 53-year-old person or a 50-year-old person like she's really 37, right? I have no way of verifying her ID again unless it's on the premises, right? And you can even leave your ID at home if you're 37, right? And still be 37. Like I'm saying about younger looking women, there's all kind of younger looking women, especially petite women, right? Especially Christina Ricci. Even over Cindy Crawford, though, Cindy Crawford don't look bad for a 60-something-year-old woman, right? And she uses some kind of cream, right? Which she's promoting on TV. You might can find the infomercial today, right now, if you look for it hard enough. Let's see. Let's see. Right. Chrissy knows best. I think it's her own. Nope, nope. You secrets younger skin. I bet that's with Cindy Crawford. Nope, not this one. Jane Seymour. Jane Seymour. She's older than Christy. I mean, not Christy, but she's older than the other girl. Even Christy Brinkley, though, right, for example, right, is another older model who still looks good for her age, right? Let's see. I'm trying to look for it. Overcoming Plane, but Blair Underwood, right? Celebs Tell All. Cindy Crawford, right? Looking for her little product. It's some kind of mail-in from France. Yes, it is. Right, it's supposed to be able to help you look young. Yeah. They want you to buy it and all that. and like I said, Cindy and Christy, right? And I bet if you let Christina Ricci play the part, she could probably still play Wednesday to a T. I know she could. Even at her current age, I know she could. And I know you're lying if you don't want to understand that, right? See, age and looks alone ain't what you ask a woman when you meet her anyway. You ask her her age, right? And you know why you don't know her age. You don't know anybody's age, right? And if someone's complaining about a nail salon anyway, there might be a 15-year-old girl working there. And the only way to combat that is to ask somebody their age, right? Now, here's the problem. If the girl's lying and don't have ID on the premises, I can't confirm or deny her age, right? But the thing is, if she knows she's 15 and she sleeps with me anyway, who's at fault there? The 50-year-old adult or the 15-year-old child who ain't supposed to be working, right? Or on the premises without the proper paperwork, right? See, the day of is when you need the paperwork, right? If you had it, right, and she presented it, right, there would be no problem. She would have just done my nails, and I would have been out in the store in a reasonable amount of time, right? Which is usually under 40 minutes, right? Right? If you do nails, you know what I'm talking about? Bet you do, bet you do. 30 to 40 minutes is normally how long it takes to do somebody's nails, right? That's starting with the feet to the hands, right? Usually do. And you gotta get all the gunk out, which is why, right? Mm, you have to be older than 16. Yes. To do the job, right? And you gotta have proof you can do the job on the premises when I go into the store, right? The person hiring you is also responsible, right? The person actually letting you work, Mr. Teen, if that's your name, for example, is the one who has to have the paperwork on you, right? He also has to have your birth certificate and your what? Social Security card. If you're 15, you should have a Social Security card. You have to have both. Or you can't work. You can't work. You can't do the job, right? You go to jail usually for that too. That's called working a minor. So who's trying to put me in jail for not knowing she was 15 when if you know she's 15, you're not supposed to be working her without the paperwork there on the premises, right? Reason is it's called working a girl illegally, someone illegally underage, right? They frown on that in Georgia, by the way. Right? It's illegal. It's illegal to work an underage girl in Georgia under the age of 16 with that particular job, because again, I know. Well, there's so many paid programs, I don't know which one is which. I'm just looking right for anything, right? Usually it'll say Cindy's name now. But there's several problems. One, if the girl said she was 37, I have no way to confirm that either, but 37, I can do this, right? And I don't really need ID, right? Necessarily, right? If she says she's 37, right? If she says she's 15, I'm going to card her, right? I gotta make sure, right? Because she's not even supposed to be on the premises at 15, right? She has to have special permission to do that job in the apprenticeship program. And part of the apprenticeship program is so she can, by 16, quit school and do the job. You understand? So you're saying you wanted your 15-year-old daughter, if that's what she was, right? I don't know that either, right? To get out of school and work the rest of her life as a nail technician. Okay. I hear you, buddy. I hear you, buddy. You lie at your ass. Sideways, sideways. You can't do that either. Another thing, if you're trying to emancipate her, you're treating her like an adult, and I don't know if that means sexually she's an adult, but still, you're trying to work her in a job where she's got to be 16-year-old and older to do the job, right? So why wouldn't I assume she's 16 and older in the first place, right? Is that a crime for me, or again, a crime for you if she's supposed to be 16, right? Crime for you, a crime for you. See, you Asian men don't realize you're trying to raise your children too quickly, right? You have Mozarts by the age of 4 or 5 or 6. What the hell? Where's your children's childhood? Childhood is about what? Growing up. Not playing Mozart. Yeah. Now, by 8, if you want to play Mozart, maybe 12, that's fine. All right. 8 to 12 or something, right? I might can understand that a little bit, but even then, that's pushing it. But, right. Whatever you're doing, though, what's the reason? What's the reason? What are you after here, right? but you're right. The younger you teach someone piano, the earlier they can do it. Right. That's smart to a point, right? But at the same time, they're doing something very complicated at an early age, and you kind of not letting them just be a kid either. Right? So whatever you do, though, right, you have to have some reason behind it anyway. Now you got these violin prodigies or these, right, whatever musical instruments, and everybody loves the classical musical instruments, right? Even the oboe or the cello or whatever, right? Exactly, right. But I didn't see Cindy yet, but I'm sure she'll be on sometime today, right? But even with Jane Seymour, right? She was in her teens and she did Live and Let Die with Roger Moore, right. And she played the Virgin Solitaire, right. Right. Now, when I was born in 1969, right, and she's doing James Bond, I think, in 73, she's already over 18, and was establishing her career pretty solidly. That's the makeup miracle. And they're doing grape race, right? For Kate Walsh and Jane Seymour, right? That's another one they try to do now. Crepe is where your skin gets saggy in your neck area. And it can even happen to men sometimes, but mine's good, right? Total gym. Mm-hmm. Military makeover, right? Well, that's why it's hard to actually find, right? Power outages, Nutrisystem, protect your memory, right? Shark, all in one, right? Salvage dogs, that's probably something related to the channel, right? Battle on the beach, that sounds like something. Okay, here's something. Car repair secrets, alright. Portable oxygen, Kelsey essentials, dinner in a movie, right? That's obviously a show, right? Saved by the Bell was on E. March Madness for hip and shoulder pain. Try Dormio. Cheapest diet ever. Funny you should ask. That sounds like it's something that's a show, right? Tugs of Words. Right. That's a show, right? Ghost Whisperer. We know that's with, what's her name? Jennifer Love Hewitt. Right. And she looks good for her age, right? Joni Table Talk. That's something religious, right? More sex, a lot less stress. H2O times 5 events. Steam cleaner. And Joni Table Talk, that's religious. Unexplained. David Jeremiah, Amazing Facts, those are religious programs. Celebs Tell All. Alright. Let's see. Smart, successful celebs ask about the future health with Dr. McQuinn. Host Ken Mears. Overcoming playing with Blair Underwood. Right. Larry King Prostate. Transforming Lives by Shiners Hospital. Right. A politically laid turd. That is right. That's on Vice, right? Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Toys of Terror. Evil toys magically come to life, right? Alright. Remove 100% of pollen and dust, right? And Tyler Perry's most beaten brands. Power outages, right? DraftKings Sportsbook, right? The Emoji Movie, Andy Griffith, Mark of a Serial Killer, right? Cheapest diet ever, joint relief, tummy tuck, right? Ninja, outdoor grill, right? Looking for a medical plan. Secrets to younger skin, that's grape race again, right? Get Home Title Lot, right? True Crime 2023, Who Stole My Life, right? That's probably about Life Alert. Criminal Minds is on by 10 a.m. That's on Wii, right? Below Deck, right? Mediterranean is on True Crimes, Who Stole My ID, My Life, right? Car Repair Secrets again. Ninja, Looking for a Medical Plan. Ukraine in Crisis. Three Stooges, that's AMC. The Champ. Stella Dallas. Who's the Boss? IFC. Stefano One Italian Jewelry. Wild Patagonia, right? One Wild Day. Cindy Crawford's Ellen Papaya. That's it. Here it is. Now,